Hi everyone, NUSensei here and welcome back to another bow review. Many of you by now have probably heard of Mandarin Duck. I've reviewed quite a few of their products from their shop on my channel, including the Phantom, which is one of the most popular online bows, the Black Hunter, and a couple others. Early this year, they released another model, the Mandarin Duck Strider, which I've got right here. Now, what makes this bow special is that it is a very short riser, which is compatible with ILF limbs. Let's take a closer look. The most striking thing you'll see about the Strider is the color. The Strider comes with two different color schemes, one being a black, which is actually a black and gray pattern, the other one being blue, which is what you see here. And obviously I chose blue because it is a far more attractive look. It is a very nice soft wood riser, wood being very warm to the touch, and it is quite simple. It is something which fits quite nicely in the hand. It has nice contours, looks nice visually. It's a pretty solid riser, and considering that the selling point of this riser is about $120 US, it's a bit more expensive than the entry-level risers you often get. You can often buy entire bows for $150, but for $120, this is perhaps a bit more above the standard entry point for most wooden risers. And I think it has the look and feel of something a little better than what you get at the lowest price points. Something which stuck out to me when I first got it was it's very similar to the Black Hunter. If you see my Black Hunter review or someone else's review, you'll see a lot of visual similarities. And this is the case with most wood pattern bows. The actual wood pattern is quite different, but that's kind of visual similarity. The shape of the grip is slightly different. The Strider has slightly more protruded edges, while the Black Hunter is completely smooth. You won't really notice it with the Strider, which is fine. But one thing that is noticeably different is that the Strider is a bit thicker. So especially at the handle and especially at the top and bottom of the riser, it is substantially thicker than the Black Hunter, which has a slightly sleeker look. So you might notice that the grip of the Strider is shallower than most recurve grips you might come across. I think most recurve risers have a deeper, more aggressive grip for people who have a deep grip and will put a lot more pressure on the front part of this grip here. The Strider tends to be a bit more shallow, so that's fine. I'm sure that will work completely normal for most people, but it does have a slightly different look and feel to most risers. The grip itself is fairly nice in terms of its thickness, so I don't feel any protrusions. The ridge over here isn't annoying at all. It's actually quite well rounded off. So whether you're holding it off or you're holding it on, it feels really nice to hold in place. So even though it has a shallower grip, most of it is just extra surface area. I think most people will find it quite comfortable to grip it normally. And yeah, it's a nice warm touch. So overall, the riser seems quite well balanced and quite enjoyable. The main appeal of the Strider isn't just the unique aesthetic, it's also the ILF limb pocket system. So ILF stands for International Limb Fitting. For those who don't know, it's the most common kind of limbs used for most sport target recurves, and more recently some more field hunting style recurves. So basically all it is you slide the limb into the pocket and it clicks. The advantage here, apart from the rapid assembly and disassembly, which is a huge advantage over the Black Hunter, is that you can use any ILF limb. Most limbs are based on the sport target style, but you can get short field limbs using the same system. Mandarin Duck offer their own ILF limbs. This is the Scorpion limb at 45 pounds. It's a pretty standard, typical fiberglass and wood limb, but like I said, you can use any limb you want with this system as long as it's ILF. So once more, we have both limbs here. We'll put the bottom one in. There we go, and top one, and that's the bow assembly done. Pretty nice. I do like the aesthetic. It's a nice blue wood color plus the black limbs. Makes for quite an attractive bow. I know many people buying these bows go for the aesthetics, and I think that's a good choice too. Honestly, it feels like a Black Hunter but blue and ILF. So I really like the limbs. They just pop in and out like all AOF bows. The bow itself seems quite solid, not too heavy, not too light, nice grip, nice contours, pretty decent balance. Of course, should point out that there are no bushings for stabilizers or sights. So if you are looking at using weights or sights, then unfortunately this bow won't accommodate that. This is purely for bare bow shooting, and that's what you're looking for, then so far so good. Now, it's pretty clear that this bow is designed to be shot off the shelf, as you can see from the small profile and shelf over here. That said, I don't have a shelf rug at the moment, so instead of shooting off the bare wood, I'm going to install a rest. Now, I did measure my draw weight before. The limbs are rated at 45 pounds. I do draw short. I'm a small guy, so about 26.5 to 27 inches. Draw weight's about 41.5 pounds. So, yeah, pretty decent bow. Let's see how it shoots. No, that's got a good punch to it. Man, shooting about 40 pounds or 45 pounds is always satisfying. There's a big oomph. Whew, man, that's a pretty hefty bow to shoot, especially on a warm day. So, wow, yeah, that really sends arrows out pretty quickly. Shouldn't be surprised at a 40+ pound bow, but that feels pretty good. First impressions are, it's solid. I wouldn't say smooth is my first reaction. There are definitely bows I've shot which are in the higher price range, which are smoother to draw, soft on the release. This is a little harsher, but it's a solid bow. I do much prefer the softer wooden feel of this riser over some of the metal risers, which you've seen recently. It's not as heavy, it's not as dense, but it does have a nice thunk to it, so that feels quite nice. So, it's been a couple of hours actually. Like I've said, this is a bit heavier than what I normally shoot, so you can probably see me struggling a bit with some of the shots and letting the arrow creep forward. Part of it is draw weight, part of it is fatigue. That's what happens to shoot a heavier draw weight for a long period of time. But I really enjoyed the bow. The bow feels pretty solid. It's what we expect from a bow of this price range. It doesn't feel cheap at all. Actually, it feels quite nice, both in terms of its look and its feel. I felt that the bow is a solid workhorse. It's a bit more, I guess, solid and responsive compared to the beginner bows you would often get at half the price. I felt that the limbs perform as they should. It has a pretty big amount of punch to it. Not kick in terms of recoil, but good punch in terms of its ability to send the arrow forward. Again, draw weight plays a part in this, but I think the bow's pretty solid. I think my overall opinion of the Strider is that it's a solid bow. Again, considering the price range you can get it at about, I think $120 for the riser, plus about 100 for the limbs. It's about what you would expect to get for that price range, so I think it's good value for money. I do like the unique aesthetic design, so you're looking for a bow which is slightly different from what you normally see, especially for its color scheme. This is what I'm looking at. So overall, quite impressed. I do like the Strider. Definitely something you can take out for fun and fling arrows with a bit more oomph to it. But yeah, overall, I do recommend the Strider. It's a nice bow and worth the price. Anyway, this is NUSensei. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.